and welcome, it's Debs here. Welcome back to Supernatural Living. This video is about the Field of Dreams. I've got a huge update about the barn, what we're doing here, everything that's going on here, including a ton of bills that I can't pay. But before we get into that and how all of that is obviously going to work out beautifully, if you liked my videos, do give me a like on the video, do subscribe to my channel, and if you want to know more about what I'm up to, subscribe to my newsletter below. So let's dive in, shall we? The first thing that is new on site, Beck is here with me today filming, so the first thing that is new on site is our shed that is there. And our shed is for the water, so we have got a water treatment package inside our shed. It's a little bit, it's really muddy and it's been wet here, so I will take you in the shed and show you that properly the next time when we have some decent weather. The next thing I want to show you, come this way. This is our conservatory, utility room, extra room on the caravan. So with the working hard in here, come on in. So Beck, do you want to pan around and show what's going on in here? So we've got a utility, we've got a sink, we're going to have a washing machine there, and we've got this extra space is going to make a massive, massive difference. When we live in here, this space is going to make a huge difference to us.
What sort of things are you going to have in this room when you're living here, Deb?
Well, this is going to be my office. This is where I'm going to have my computer. This is where I'm going to do all my videos. This is where I'm going to do everything from. This is going to be the hub. And also we're going to have a bed settee in here so that when family or anyone come to visit, they'll have somewhere, their own little space here to have their own space in here to sleep. So that's what's going to be going on in here. So come and sit down with us, and I'm going to tell you now a little bit about what's going on behind the scenes. So, where do I start? So I knew when I took this build on that I was going to be completely and utterly pushing myself out of my comfort zone. Just owning this piece of land, which was £140,000, you know, I did not have that kind of money. And so just getting to a space, that's when I really started diving deeply into supernatural living. You know, how do we create? What is it we do? And much to my own surprise, as much as anyone else's, I pulled it off, and here we are. We own this piece of land. And now here we are building a house. That's what this is all about. We're going to be building this that I'm showing you is just our temporary living accommodation whilst we build the house. And I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I had the real desire, I've had a desire for many, many years to build a house, but I had no idea what I was getting myself into. And I showed you the shed earlier outside. Now that is a water treatment package. I didn't even know such a thing existed a couple of years ago. So we have got a borehole. The water needs to be pumped up from the borehole, then it needs to go through a treatment package before it can be fit to drink. And water treatment packages come in at something like £7,000. And then we need a septic tank and septic tanks, depending on, I mean, as you know, we're doing this build ourselves. If we had somebody else do that, you're probably looking at £12,000 to £15,000. If we do it ourselves, we can potentially do it around about 5,000, maybe a bit less, depending exactly what we have. Then we haven't got electric yet, so we need electricity here. And whether we do that off-grid electric, whether we go with solar panels or whether we connect up to the grid, you're looking, we had a quote for that, and you're looking again somewhere between £7,000 and £10,000. So we're talking big amounts of money, certainly in my world, big amounts of money that these things are coming in at. And when we bought the land, we wiped ourselves out. So everything that we've been doing has been manifesting more to create, to do the next thing, to take the next step. And we've managed to get as far as we have. You know, we've got this amazing, amazing things happened for the caravan to be here, the caravan to be on site, to be in the right place, to have the decking that we've got outside, to have this amazing room. That has come together really, really beautifully. And then I noticed that these are the things for us to get into the caravan. as I said, in my world, they're quite big amounts of money. And I noticed myself slipping into fear, instead of being in a space of, the space that I was in when I decided I was going to create this land, create the money to buy this land. That was just a ridiculous thing, and it was kind of, there didn't feel like there was anything riding on it. It's like, the likelihood that it'll happen, I probably won't be able to do it, but let's just go all in and see. I'm kind of invested now, committed, you know, I'm here, we've got the land. And I moved out of that space of, well, you know, we'll build this house or we won't. Let's just go all in and see what we can do. And I moved slightly into fear about, oh my gosh, we've got these huge bills coming in. How are we going to afford these things? How are we going to do these things? And I've spent a few weeks, I guess one of the reasons there hasn't been an update on this video for a while was because I got into that thinking. I got into some fear around that. How was I going to do that? And I'm going to tell you the story, one of the things that happened, a little story. So we have got an architect who is helping us with the build when we build the house. And as I said, I know nothing about what I'm doing here. I don't know how this works. I don't know what I'm doing. So we will need an architect. We will need an architect to do some drawings and to help us stay on track and to I don't know, if I'm honest, I don't know. So anyway, I talked to an architect, and in the conversations I explained to this architect the position I was in. I don't understand things, I don't know what I'm doing, and this architect, absolutely brilliant, great, so helpful, has got us discharging things that we needed to discharge to get this build to go. Brilliant, absolutely great man. And then I got a bill from the architect. Now, in my head, when we had conversations, the way that this had gone was the architect had said, I will bill you at the end. In my head, what I heard, what I understood, that was I would be billed from the architect at the end of the build. What actually happened was this architect went and drew all the things that we needed, did all the drawing, which is brilliant, and then billed me for these drawings. And we're talking a lot of money, again, for over £5,000 bill. I don't have £5,000 and I wasn't expecting this bill. And I went into fear. I didn't know what to do. I was completely lost, completely felt out of my depth, felt I'd taken on something I shouldn't have taken on. Yeah, I had quite a moment there. And then I decided to go back to, what is it I teach? What is it I know? What is supernatural living? What is this about? And what I see is the impossible happened when I got this land. And the way that we stop that impossible, the way that we block that impossible, is living from fear. So I sat myself down, gave myself a good talking to, reminded myself what I know to be true, and have come back to possibility, the absolute, being totally and utterly open to possibility, and the difference in the feeling of that. And I wanted to share exactly where we are right now in this moment, because I want to, the whole point of this build and sharing in this way with you is, I want to come back when this is done in the way that I decided I was going to create, having this land, and I started sharing before the land was actually ours, and then the land is now ours. I want to share with you, that's where I am. There isn't a happy ending here yet. There isn't, that's where we are. We're in a position where if we want the electricity, the septic tank, the water all connected, and to pay this bill, which we are going to do, trust me. If we want all that to happen, then something miraculous has to happen. And that is the position I am in right now. And I cannot wait to be making more of these videos, to be telling you how it happened, and it's going to sound so ordinary. It's going to sound like, oh well, that was always going to happen. But right now, as we stand now, that is the position we are in. We have got a lot of bills and a very tiny amount of money in the bank. So that's where we are. But you know, we're in this beautiful room. This land belongs to us, and trust me, one of the things that I absolutely know, I can feel in my heart is living. When I look over at that barn there, I know I'm going to be living in a really, really beautiful house there. So watch this space as this continues to unfold. So that's it for today. Keep up. The next video that I'm going to be making is another video about supernatural living. So tune in for that next time. If you like my videos, do drop me a like. If you have got any questions about anything I'm sharing here, drop a comment, because it really helps me get this content out here. And I want more people doing projects, doing and being who they want to be out in the world, because they can see the possibility. They don't stay in that fear, they move into possibility. And I want to show people what happens when we come out the other side of that. So